The year is 1977. Platform, bell bottoms, boom boxes, cities on the brink. The discotheque is the place to leave it all behind. Music plays the medicine to forget the problems of the world. This year is no exception. Capping the year with its third consecutive Best Orchestral Disco Billboard Award with the release of the Magic Journey album with its Grammy-nominated Getaway cover and the Stravinsky-inspired track Magic Bird of Fire. Vince Montana Jr. and the Salsoul Orchestra are in full display. A group of talented musicians put together by Vincent from his days working the Philadelphia scene and sound with studio musicians MFSB. Vincent's Salsoul Orchestra music is hitting the clubs and airwaves. Even a television commercial is produced promoting all its hits.
And included in this exciting two-record album are the greatest hits of the Salsoul Orchestra. Tangerine, Salsoul Hustle, Magic Bird of Fire. There's Carol Williams.
And yet, for Vincent, he once again will have to defend his music and fight for recognition.
He was the vibe man.
It was jazz, it was blues.
Dance to it, skate to it.
Real musicians, real producers, real artists.
He flows and it's just beautiful.
There's a melody, there's a story behind the music.
Disco took a nosedive.
His music just set the world on fire. Oh my God, what can I say about the late great Vincent Montana Jr.? His music actually just set the world on fire. Oh my goodness, Ritzy Mambos, Salsoul Hustle.
Born in Philadelphia on February 12, 1928, Vincent is encouraged as a young boy by his family, especially his father, the love of music.
His father was the one that took him to hear Magic Bird of Fire, Igor Stravinsky's piece, at the Academy of Music. His father was a musician too. He was a great man.
Young Vincent is taken to see and hear Stravinsky conduct the Firebird Suite at the Academy of Music in Philadelphia. An event that will inspire his version of the classic later in his career. Formally trained and enjoying the stage as well, young Vincent performs at your typical social events in his South Philly neighborhood. During his teens, Vincent wants real-world experience performing on stage. What better place to learn than the jazz clubs of South Philadelphia?
My father knew Charlie Parker, the great alto player. In Philly he played, and also Sarah Vaughan.
After proving his chops, young Vincent's opportunity to play with other jazz greats increased, leading him to play with acclaimed jazz greats of the era. His travels and pursuit of performing takes him to Las Vegas, where he hones his craft and learns from the accomplished musicians he plays with.
Why do you like this music? I grew up with it. The sound. I'm a DJ. That's what that's in there. It's part of my life. Vince Montana also is a big part of it.
The heart of South Philadelphia. I love you, Philly. This is where my dad grew up, in Philadelphia, South Philadelphia, 11th and Wharton. It's his neighborhood. This is where the vibes all started.
He returns home to Philadelphia, a seasoned musician, and into the hotbed of a teen idol factory, with local talent seeing their way to the national audience. One talent in particular records a song with Vince playing Vibes and Bells, a song that sells over 1 million copies. By the mid-60s, the British invasion reshapes America's taste in pop music. U.S. teens want more than the single-song teen idol act being packaged. Vince finds work with R&B producers, as this genre is also undergoing change. With mature metaphors and deep-sounding instrumentation, Vince collaborates in a string of gold singles, including Kenneth Gamble and Leon Huff's first major hit.
Most people don't know that in the 60s, Vince was involved in many pop songs. This guy's got a history that's insane.
Another future collaborator Vince will work with and help shape his first #1 hit during this era, musician, producer, arranger, Tom Bell. It's during this time when a friendship begins with an entrepreneur engineer looking to start his own recording studio. Joe Tarcia offers studio space in the new location in exchange for Vincent's help in the renovation. It's the beginning of the legendary Sigma Sound Studios.
People started gravitating toward it because it had a great sound. The amount of people that came through that studio were amazing. You had Major Harris. He did arrangements for some of them. David Bowie, Patti LaBelle. Patti's a Philly person. That was the place to go.
But it's the producing teams of Gamble and Huff and Tom Bell that's identified with Sigma Sound, with Vince and its talented session musicians, where the Philadelphia sound and a record label will be forever linked.
When we recorded with Gamble and Huff, Vince would stand out because even while we were recording, it didn't really sound like the sound of Philadelphia until Vince came in with them vibes. And when them vibes came in, that was the sound. That was the sound that locked everybody in.
Salsoul stuff, Nice and Nasty,
there you go.
Magic Journey. It was incredible. It was just a total, it was just danceable. It was beautiful. It had all the elements. To listen to these violins.
When will I see you again? When will our hearts beat together?
And to listen to the vibes.
Hey Phil, what? You know we used to gang walk, baby. Man, was we crazy? Yeah, man.
That now it became the signature of what the sound of Philadelphia started to become.
Got bad love, yes sir.
Sigma Sound Studios session musicians provided music for other producers and labels that wanted a sophisticated, textured sound for the R&B commentary songs now being recorded.
Just be thankful for what you got.
The Gamble and Huff team sees an opportunity and names the session musicians MFSB. Their debut album highlights the band's jazz, soul, and Latin influence, as well as Vincent's vibe prowess.
Sound of Philadelphia, and they also used that song for the theme for Soul Train. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, I know. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Doo-dee-da. I mean, what a great song.
The Sound of Philadelphia reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, as well as being the theme song for the nationally syndicated dance and music show Soul Train. Its second album, titled Love is the Message, produces a Grammy award-winning track for Best R&B Instrumental Performance.
Soul Train.
Once again, this is one of those songs. I mean, there's a lot of instrumentals out everywhere. But that song just is pure.
Another high-charted track, but not as mainstream, would become an iconic disco anthem.
And David Mancuso was there that night, very rare, and he came up to the booth and he said, "What is that?" I said, "It's Love is a Message." And no one was playing it because it was so short. If I looped this part over and over and played it over and over, and this big anthem started at the gallery, the fabulous, the one and only, the house record of all house records, Love is the Message. Thank you, Vince.
A Sophistication Blues, highlighted in the single My Mood on its next album release, Universal Love, with Vince flowing on vibes. The band's rhythmic and high-energy cover of the Nightlighters' KG, another track in the Universal Love album, earned it a spot in Saturday Night Fever's climactic dance-off scene. The Philly sound is in full gear, and the new social gathering place called Discotheque, with its accompanying DJ, becomes a place for labels to promote their new tracks and see immediate reactions from the diverse crowds enjoying the freedoms to express themselves with this new sound.
It was like the beautiful people were going there. Then all of a sudden, a whole bunch of little clubs will start popping up, like within a year, every corner. There's a new thing out there, a new phenomenon that's out there for you to introduce your product that you're purchasing versus waiting for radio to give you a reaction. There's another venue out there, another avenue for you to test the product. there's another way to get the reaction. He says, please, don't tell me anything. Stick to what you do.
The club DJ was making a tremendous difference now. So now the record labels were paying attention. All kinds of different races mix without hesitation together, dancing together. And you can feel the love in these people.
These communities of people, they gravitated to this music because it was uplifting. The gay community was in a very tumultuous situation at that point with rights, human rights. I think they turned to this music because they want to express themselves, and this music was the perfect platform.
Even with apparent success, Vince's fee as a session musician and as a member of MFSB is not enough for someone who knows he can give more of his music and the desire to create something for himself. Not coming to terms with the Gamble and Huff team, Vince Montana Jr. will leave MFSB, his city, to forge ahead and risk on himself and his music.
Vince was a little bit before our time, but we've had an opportunity to meet with him and come to an understanding about just how significant he was. We're just happy that he made a foundation for the kind of music that Salsoul came to be most known for.
Looking to capture the Latin sound for his new group, Vincent finds himself in New York City, scouting musicians, and at a small record label, Americana Records.
He always did well musically with whatever genre the music was in. But he kept rising above because it had to come out somehow.
Initially rejecting Vincent's Latin group idea, Americana execs realized Vincent's connection to MFSB and is asked, can he take his Latin orchestration sound and create tracks that are danceable for the clubs? Assuring he can deliver, Vincent is given a check to produce 3 tracks with the new sound. Within a few months, Salsoul Hustle, a blend of melodic strings, funky guitar riff, horns, congas, and Vincent's trademark vibes put their mark on this track. The track charts well. An album is ordered simply named Salsoul, and the orchestra is named the Salsoul Orchestra under a new label, Salsoul Records. Also in the debut album, the title rounding out the album, a Vince favorite, the high-charting disco version of the 1941 Jimmy Dorsey jazz standard, Tangerine.
Tangerine, she is all they say, with masquerade eye and chapel by day shade.
The flow and rhythm of Vincent's arrangements work beautifully with a dance performed nightly at the discos in this era, the hustle, as explained from Hustle aficionados.
Hustle is a complex dance. Plus, Vince's music was very sophisticated. That's why a lot of people, years later, were still into it. It was orchestral and sophisticated.
There was a magic to it, a flow, a rhythm to it that was different from what people had heard before. And it got people back to dancing, close dancing.
The music that he produced and I put out, it was perfect. The whole thing, the melody, the instrumental, the whole thing.
Hustle is the best music in the world. There's nothing like it. The beat, the rhythm, the melody, it just makes you want to move.
I think it's just the way the dance is done, and then the music, like you really feel it, and you have something together with your partner.
Vince gets busy working on the next album titled Nice and Nasty, creating the orchestra's identity with hits like Sultry and Soulful. Nice and Nasty.
Nasty. You're nasty. Ooh, that was nasty.
The percussion-driven, Latin-flavored Ritzy Mambo. And the sweet sound of Norman Harris' guitar solo in Good for the
because I've never been into buying Christmas music, but they changed the dynamics of everything.
How so?
Because I was a DJ, I had to get their album because their music was the best dance Christmas music.
Optimistic of the future, why not produce a Christmas album? Christmas Jollies showcases medleys of standard Christmas songs, Salsoul style. With a few new ones co-written by Vince, especially Merry Christmas All, with daughter Denise Montana singing lead vocal.
Christmas time is here. It's a jolly good time of the year. People somehow know all the Christmas spirit they show. Sleigh bells in the snow.
The album did well and has lasted the test of time by still being a staple of getting the Christmas party started. Even with a little controversy with its cover, didn't stop it from being in the racks of the local DJ. Their standalone albums charting well. The live performances around the country creating its own energy.
It was just so exciting. And to be able to actually sing what we had on record with the orchestra was just, it was unbelievable. It was great. And the people were fantastic as far as being receptive to us and the show.
And nightclubs, big and small, filling the dance floors with the hustlers.
It was like the beautiful people were going there. You know, everybody was, the trend was coming in. Have you ever heard of this place? Have you heard of this place? Have you heard of this place? Have you heard it? And all of a sudden, a whole bunch of little clubs will start popping up, like within a year. Everything, every corner.
The clubs were open every night a week. And whether you had a job or not, you went out during a weekday. Somehow people survived.
And on a Friday or a Saturday night, to go out to hear this music being played, it did not reflect the negativity that was on the outside world. It reflected this joyous, uplifting feeling that people crave. And I think dance music will always serve that purpose.
Vince and the orchestra will provide the music in the Salsoul record stable or play on music produced by Salsoul's own talented musicians of Ron Baker, Norman Harris, and Earl Young.
Oh man, it was electrifying. It was, I tell you, when 10% came on, everybody got up. Everybody.
It was awesome because all of them were good producers themselves. Norman, Ron Kurz, Vince got all of them together to play his charts. It was awesome, man.
And the first lady of Salsoul, Carol Williams, debuts her album, Electric Lady, with a string of disco classics.
In my head, only satin sheets.
I remember when he said, "How do you like this song, Carol? Do you think you might want to do this?" It was just a guy singing it, not a girl, and it was just the keyboards and him and the guy. And I listened, and I just fell in love with the words, "Love is you."
Did you hear that?
Yes, I did. That was Comeback.
Tell me about that song. Did you guys write? Tell me about it. I'd love to know how you guys came up with that song.
I wrote that song. I actually wrote that song and had Diane Ross in mind to do it when I wrote it. I could actually play that on the piano and play it for him and say, "What do you think about this, Vince?" Of course, I can't play the chords as well as how he would have done it, but it was enough for him to hear that he liked it. And we got it on the album.
Come back to me, baby. Come back to stay, yeah. Come back to me.
At that time, a lot of people were taking standard songs and they were doing it into disco. And I just started singing more, and I said, I got to tell Vince, let's see if he's going to want to do that.
More than the greatest love the world had known. This is the love I give to you alone.
He captured everything that I had in my mind as far as doing the vocals with it. He nailed it.
His music was passionate, intricate, it was very involved. It took you on a trip.
The idea of hustling through a 36-piece orchestra is something that's a passion. Many people want it and very few experienced.
And strings. He would put strings and horns. He had a whole horn section.
Him introducing the salsa flair, the hustle flair that they called it, that was phenomenal.
There's a great deal of orchestration in his music, and it has a lush sound to it.
You guys have heard of Salsoul Orchestra?
What?
Come on,
Yes.
you kidding me?
Yes. Hello.
I had hair when I started dancing with him.
Holla.
What do you guys know about Salsoul Orchestra?
Give me a break.
What? You're talking
That's like me telling you,
right
what do
here.
you know about Marvin Gaye?
That's my era. That's fine. Shoot, we were born in that era. Yeah, that's our era. Shoot.
If I had an act and I was following the same trend as Salsoul was doing, my God, we are in it because we're following somebody that laid down a track for everybody to eat.
One such act, the Ritchie family's uplifting, orchestral inspiring medley of popular songs of the time. Another act, John Davis and the Monster Orchestra, with a percussion-infused, string-laced melody and accent.
Dance was my passion. All I wanted to do was dance. I did it 24/7. Every night there was a place to go, and it was never enough.
Vincent Montana, when he was with Charo, She's really a good friend of mine from Spain. I know her personally. She said to me, he's the one that brought me up. That's it.
Internationally known entertainer, flamenco, guitar virtuoso, Charo, records Charo, and the Salsoul Orchestra, Cuchi Cuchi.
He was very relaxed. He loved to pull the best of with who he is producing.
Every man and every woman want the same thing.
You are very famous for the phrase Cuchi Cuchi.
Every grandma want the same thing.
Let's do a song about that.
Cuchi Cuchi.
The whole band was laughing.
Cuchi Cuchi.
Okay, Vicente, I want to do Purriquito. And he said, what in the hell is that thing? And I said, pues, means little donkey. He was laughing like crazy. And he said, let's take a jump.
Borriquito como tú, que no sabe ni la U. Borriquito como tú, yo sé más que tú.
For the biggest selling track in the album, Vince let Charo be Charo.
A little bit closer. Move it in like this, a little bit closer.
We, the Latino Spanish, it's about time that we start getting into their music. We went ahead for the Spanglish idea. Dance a little bit closer.
Acércate y oye cómo va mi corazón.
Disco has a beat that is now like no other, you know. The girls have a step, the guys have their, you know, their step.
He has his own style of production. He has his own style of recording music, and he has his own thing.
In full creative mode, Vince is moving toward a personal achievement, creating an album that will shine on his combined talents as a musical virtuoso. The Magic Journey album will feature a Latin and jazz-flavored instrumental cover of Earth, Wind, and Fire's Getaway. Earning the cover a Grammy nomination in the Best R&B Instrumental Performance category.
There's only good music and not so good music. Not awful music, not so good, but he's got the good music. And so that's what he chooses to do in any genre that he chooses.
I would say that he was the consummate professional. This is a man who would come into the studio and work with artists, and there was an instant level of respect.
We were in the height of the disco era. We played Roseland, and of course Vince was able to have the whole orchestra there. The Sigma Sweethearts, they were there for backgrounds, Barbara, Yvette, and Carla. Lolita was on the show.
I did the demo for Runaway. Run away, better not hesitate. Better hurry, don't wait now, run away. So they passed on me, and Lolita did it, and she hit it, man. She ran with it. They ran with it. What a voice.
A jazz-inspired, smooth-grooving track, Runaway, featuring a rising disco vocalist, Lolita Holloway.
I think Vince got so much pleasure out of playing, and especially jazz. He was able to get away with some of it in some of the music he did, like in Runaway when he did the vibe solo and a few other songs.
And to me, still one of the coolest lines in all of disco music is, "Come on, Vince, play your vibes now." And boy, did he.
I Kick Rid of Fire. Oh, that was instrumental. Beautiful. I mean, that was a smooth disco song that made you want to dance.
Arguably, the most recognized Salsoul Orchestra track, Vince pays homage to Stravinsky's The Firebird Suite with Magic Bird of Fire. with lush strings, pulsing bass, and Latin rhythm.
Magic Bird of Fire, which is a really powerful, high-energy piece. Top choices for dance competitors, that's it. Magic Bird of Fire.
Salsoul Records is making money, but Vincent has not been receiving royalties on the work he has created.
In those days, you know, they had to deal with the labels, and the labels ripped them off.
Sometimes the record companies don't want to give up publishing, they don't want to give up writing. This is money that's going to be in your pocket.
Ha habido muchos abusos, que también Vince Montana fue víctima. No, no era él solo, ha sido general.
It's the music industry. You have to have a good attorney to chase for your royalties. Doesn't matter who it is.
While this is playing out, another force is taking shape in the music business. Released in the summer of 1977, the chart-busting Giorgio Moroder and Donna Summer electronic, pulsating track I Feel Love is a sign of change in the disco music sound.
Dance music became really a studio production.
Hiring horn sessions, hiring string sessions, percussion sessions. Today, I could make a song on my iPhone.
A preview of house, techno, EDM. Will Vincent Montana Jr. adjust to the changes? Vincent's last two albums under the Salsoul label, Up the Yellow Brick Road, is a salute to Broadway's musicals, with a track from a contemporary production at the time, The Wiz. And a medley from West Side Story's famed musical songs. With Vince once again showcasing the sweethearts of Sigma on vocals.
These ladies were there from the beginning, and they were backing a lot of people, thousands.
Love is a theme in Vincent's last Salsoul album, an homage to the pop ballads by letting his vibes do the talking.
No one has come up to what my dad put out there. It was jazz, it was blues, it was rock, and a Great American Songbook style of music.
Also included love letters with the Vince Montana flowing strings, percussion, and signature vibes. By 1978, Vincent leaves Salsoul Records and the orchestra he created. Leaving Salsoul might have been painful for Vincent, but it wasn't long before he was doing what he loved, creating music. As Vince explains in this televised appearance.
I wear about 4 different hats. I'm an artist with Atlantic now, and I'm a producer, free producer. I can produce for anybody. Songwriter, composer, arranger.
Well, Jim Delahan was the senior vice president of A&R, and because I was the head of the dance department, anything that had any tempo, he had asked me about Vince Montana, and I think it was shortly after the Mico Bernardo Star Wars thing came out. I think that should have been Vince, basically, who was leading the charge on that type of music.
Now going by Montana, Vince's first album for Atlantic Records, a dance fantasy inspired by Close Encounters of the Third Kind, blends his Latin fusion rhythm to the movie's seminal scenes.
When Vince became available, he was one of the ones that we pursued. And it was very important that we got him because he was doing great music back then.
Well, tell me a little something about Warp Factor number 2.
Sulu, Star Trek.
Yeah.
That's where I got the title.
Is that right?
Captain Kirk, that's their famous saying.
Warp speed, Mr. Sulu.
And off they go, twice the speed of light.
Continuing with the science fiction genre and showcasing his skills in blending jazz with a cruising beat like Warp Factor 2. Vince's second album release for Atlantic Records. With daughter Denise Montana on vocals, to the timeless OJ's I Love Music. Vince lets loose on this track, You Know How Good It Is, a medley of Americana music, all in one track.
His timing was correct. His style was correct. He introduces a sound that everybody loved, and that I admire.
Releasing his third and last album for Atlantic under the title Goody Goody, Vince creates a moody, sultry track with It Looks Like Love. Father and daughter musical collaborations are usually well received.
Unforgettable.
Like the 1991 remix, Unforgettable, by Nat King Cole and Natalie Cole.
Unforgettable, though near or far.
And 1967's Something Stupid.
The time is right, your perfume fills my head, the stars get red, and oh, the night's so blue.
Sung by Frank and Nancy Sinatra.
And then I go and spoil it all by saying something stupid like I love you.
It's a special distinction only a few have achieved successfully in the recording industry.
Singing is a gift. Music is a gift. He came to pick me up at my house when I was a little girl. He lived one place, I lived another place. And he was taking me to his house for the weekend. And he had the radio on. A lot of Motown was on.
Baby love, my baby love, I need your love, baby love.
And I'm singing, just like nobody's in the car but me. He said, oh, wow, you can really sing. And I said, oh, well, I love to sing. And that's when we started working together. I was very young, and then we would do projects. So I was doing quite a lot on my own. I had the DNA, as he always told me, you've got my genes. My uncle, my mother's brother, was a musician, and he played saxophone and had a band, and my father was in his band. I feel like I have the genes from the Pedersons and the Montanas and my own, and it's a gift. We were tough with each other sometimes. I'm tough sometimes. I must admit, you're passionate. He was passionate. My mother was passionate. That's why they split. two kind of Italian, passionate human beings. Mainly my dad had such a great sense of humor, and we would laugh a lot, mainly. And then sometimes we just disagreed musically on this or that. I'm the one singing it, and I want to sing it like this. No, sing it like that. I'm telling you, sing it like that. And I would end up listening because he was right. So it was a great sound, first of all. Merry Christmas All and #1 DJ, and It Looks Like Love and Goody Goody. That was the place to go. The sign says it all. All the people that recorded here, that's not even a little smidgen. That's a smidgen. Famous, historic Sigma Sound Studios. He having great ears, and he being a musician in the studio, he was a producer. So he would produce you. And I was singing Merry Christmas All, Christmas time is here, with some vibrato and really singing it out. He says, no, do it like a Frank Sinatra hit. Christmas time is here. Easy to hear for regular everybody and easy to listen to, and it still plays every year.
He knew that the club DJ was absolutely making a tremendous difference. Here comes the song, you're my #1 DJ, and every DJ wanted to play that song.
And it was a tribute to a lot of the DJs who loved him. He was smart. He made a record that the DJs had to play. You wanted to know about his creative genius? There's a great example right there. He made a record that the DJs had to play. All DJs have egos, or else they would be DJs.
You're my #1 DJ. Oh, my #1 man. I can't lose with the songs you use.
That was for all the DJs all over the world. It was called something else in the beginning, but you go into the studio and you don't call the song what it's called. You don't want to give it away. It was jazz, it was blues, it was rock, it was disco. And disco, if you hear me sing #1 DJ, it's got blues and jazz licks in it. #1 DJ with the #1 sounds of today. But you had that bass drum going that made it disco, that made you want to dance. The Atlantic family was wonderful. I remember them coming to the shows and always bringing me like Dom Perignon, nice flowers and beautiful champagne. And we played all over New York, nationwide TV in Canada. At the same time, Karen Young was out with Hot Shot. And here Karen Young and I are singing at 3 o'clock in the morning. We had been up doing the TV show at 6 or 7 a.m. Then we signed autographs at 11 and 12. And then we were still up until 3 o'clock in the morning. This is how it was. But I was young and not so tired. He just kept moving on. And when he had little lulls, he was the greatest model airplane maker. Wingspans as big as this room. He also took the Picasso painting apart in his brain, the one with the musicians, and he repainted it. He was an artist in other ways too. My father would work on a project. He had a little studio behind his house with pianos and keyboard, and where he would write on a huge screen. He would go to bed maybe after I left, maybe 4 o'clock, and he was up again at 8. That's how he lived. He lived and breathed music.
The Goody Goody album will be Vincent's last major label production. The time for himself will be of great use to prepare him, since the world is changing. And the world of disco is evolving.
Disco started to get overplayed. The producers and the era of drugs and all of that, people were making tons of money.
Disco took a nosedive around late 1979, early 80s. There was a backlash against this form of music.
The producers and labels did everything they could to make a disco record.
There's no business like show business, like no business I know.
They will actually record TV themes like The Love Boat.
The Love Boat, soon we'll be making another run.
And then the punk music and the new wave music started to blend in.
Here in my car, I feel safest of all. I can lock on my doors. It's the only way to live in cars.
Mindful promoters use the changing musical landscape to usher in the new sound, like how this Las Vegas club did in early '79.
We were there at TGI Fridays and saw disco die.
If that event wasn't enough, a Chicago radio station takes it to the next level at Comiskey Park in July of '79.
A wild night tonight, a twilight doubleheader, and the theme song seems to be Disco Sucks. That's
This is now officially the world's largest anti-disco rally. Disco sucks! Disco sucks!
A lot of radio stations, clubs were all converting their formats to jump on the disco bandwagon and make some money. I think a lot of people that went to those places for rock and country or whatever felt a little disenfranchised, and it made them angry, and I sort of understand that.
I thought it was just a bunch of drunk people having a good time. I didn't think it would affect the industry as a whole. What it basically did was it kind of scared the labels a little bit, so they cut down on the amount of releases they had because of the disco crash.
It was a severe enough backlash that when I've talked to artists and interviewed them for these books, they expressed sometimes a dislike for being branded a disco artist today, while others moved with the flow of dance music and changed their style. Yeah, Donna Summer changing her style, becoming more electronic. People like Linda Clifford on the Fame soundtrack. She had a more funky, kind of a tough diva style that she nurtured during that period. Disco sound perhaps suffered a little bit, but the high energy of dance music continued and prospered through the 80s, 90s, right into the 21st century.
The music started to get divided a little bit, beginning to be more funky.
The early 80s finds dance music edgier, with urban and tech influences, creating the electro-funk sound, like Africa Bambaataa and Soul Sonic, Force Classic. The English synth and pop duo of Yazoo, with their hit Situation, makes an appearance as well, charting. While working on a quick tune poking fun at the NFL players' strike in 1982, Vince puts together No Football No More with his own recording label, Philly Sound Works.
Hey man, what's on TV? Some old movie I don't want to see. Maybe the game's on Channel 3. No more football, this can't be.
But it's the B-side that attracts the club DJ for its groove line and instrumental riff.
Tell me a little bit about Vince Montana Jr. and what you remember about him.
Salsoul Orchestra. I mean, heavy vibes. He was the vibe band.
In homage to his heavy instrument, Heavy Vibes showcases Vince's mastery of old school use of bass and space as foundation and brings in the vibes to highlight the highs.
He was featuring himself on the vibes and little jazz influence, little funk.
It's really an aggressive song. It's got that bass, that bottom.
Even with the musical landscape changes, Heavy Vibes is sought out in the clubs, drawing comparisons to another dance classic hit.
Love Is the Message by MFSB was one of the biggest peak hour records. And because it was Vince and he was part of MFSB, it's just a fabulous record. It was a groove record. It sounded wonderful on the radio.
I love the music in general. I love Philadelphia sound, Vince Montana. He's a legend, and I have all his vinyl.
The new decade showcases Vince as the sage musician for producers to go to. He understands the role of improving one's knowledge to stay relevant in the industry, as told by those who knew him.
We're sitting there in his house just having coffee, and he comes over to me and shows me a university textbook on music composition. And I was thumbing through it and I saw, notes and highlights, and I said, I didn't realize that you had attended a music program in college. And he said, I didn't. I bought this book and several others and self-taught myself so that I could conduct the Salsoul Orchestra, read and write the music and handle the nuances of the composition and so on.
And when you draw a bow across the violin, the sound goes through two F-holes, and that's not a dirty word. Two F-holes goes into a sound post and goes around and around and around. Now, when you have 18 string players in a studio playing your music, your hair stands up.
The 90s offer Vince to contribute to an array of artists and genres: funk, jazz, house, from various producers seeking his musical and string arrangement talent. Producers Louis Vega and Kenny Gonzalez' 1997 debut album, New Yorican Soul, compilation of jazz, Latin, soul, house, with guest appearances like Tito Puente, Roy Ayers, George Benson, Jocelyn Brown, retained Vince's arrangement skills for various tracks in the album.
But it takes minds like little Louis Vega to actually take advantage of that.
Especially for one rendition by recording artist India, a Salsoul Orchestra classic.
Remember, he grew up listening. He was really paying attention.
And across the pond, England's Euro house duo Pet Shop Boys' Nightlight enjoys Vincent's arrangement collaboration on their top 20 hit, New York City Boy.
You're a New York City boy, so young, so raw. It's a New York City boy.
The dawn of the 21st century finds Vincent still working his craft and being sought out by fans for his contribution to the dance music genre.
The very first year that we had World Disco Classic in Fort Lauderdale, it came about because there was a hustle convention for dance competitions in New York City, but nothing during the wintertime. The natural progression for the next year was to honor dance music producers who had brought about the favorite dance music of the era. So I think I said to you, it's going to have to be Vince, because he's the godfather of disco.
And we knew in the dance world there's a big interest. And once we said that Vince Montana was coming, it was crazy how many people showed up and were emailing us and finding out information about it. It was awesome.
We actually had the opportunity of going to the second World Disco Classic in 2000, and that Vince Montana was going to be performing. That was going to be such a treat for us.
Music's been my life. It's like a beautiful spiritual experience.
I live, eat, and breathe it. Music flows out of my pores. Truly, the Godfather of Disco, on behalf of the dance community at large and the World Disco Classic 2000, we want to recognize Vince Montana Jr., this year's recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award. We proudly present Vince Montana Jr. and here to present Miss Lolita Holloway. From all of us, thank you for enriching our lives.
It has been written that cast thy bread upon the water, and it will return tenfold. Well, I'll tell you. It has returned a millionfold. So, people, you to my right. And I don't know what to say. I don't have that much of a vocabulary, but this, I'll keep this right on top of my mantle, and I'll always treasure this as long as I live. And let's keep them dancing. God bless.
The ensuing years finds Vincent's music and talent recognized and appreciated by the biggest artists and producers in the dance and electronic Euro sound music industry, as well as appearances on film celebrating the influence of the Philly sound in dance music culture.
Vince never got the recognition that he deserved. He got it from us, from the disco community. You had to see this guy smile. Mr. Montana, it was like the Godfather walked in.
Since his passing in 2013, Vince Montana Jr.'s body of work is recognized by musical institutions and dance music fans from different generations around the world, which begins a conversation. Should Vincent Montana Jr. be recognized by the Recording Academy with a Lifetime Achievement Award?
I think he's deserved based on some of the musicians he was involved in. His discography, for those who don't know, if you look at it, you'd be amazed, absolutely amazed with some of the amazing musicians that he's recorded with. If you ask those guys, I'm sure they would all say yes to the person that he deserves to be in there.
He certainly created an amazing sound, and his work with these various artists and Salsoul was extraordinary. He's certainly deserving of recognition.
He deserves to be awarded the Grammy. He does.
I look at Vince Montana as the white Quincy Jones.
Mm-hmm.
He was that good.
The Grammys absolutely should have been interested, at least recognized this incredible maestro.
In spite of setbacks throughout his career, Vincent continued creating great music on the tremendous platforms he was given. His many talents as a performer, composer, arranger, producer, and mentor is beginning to be acknowledged in the wider recording community as well as to the general music culture.
He always said that he just wanted to be remembered by his music for the work that he's done.
Vince was an extremely talented man. He always wanted to make it over the top, something really special, and he really did achieve that.
That's what Vince Montana, Giorgio Moroder, Quincy Jones, I think that's what all of these producers have in common. You can hear the quality in the music today, and it's, to me, just as exciting as it was when it came out 20, 30, 40 years ago.
From my heart, from my experience, a genius, completely an icon in the disco area.
Salsoul can be called Salsoul, but when you say Salsoul record, you say Vince Montana. End of story.
Denise Montana, my lovely daughter, has my musical genes. Denise is most noted for her club hits #1 DJ, It Looks Like Love, and Goody Goody. Her jazzy sophistication is inherent in much of her other music, most notably Merry Christmas All. Although I did not spend as much time as I wanted with her, she cultivated and developed her own musical soul. My love for her is both fatherly and eternal, and my respect for her natural gift goes beyond my own artistic understanding. People should know more about him. All the years of music, creation, passion, struggle, because, you've got all that you're going through to make the music great. I know that he appreciates all of you, to Salsoul, to Atlantic, to all the DJs, to all the people that bought the songs. Thank you.